coach, how has this, transition just really gone early on so far? And what are some of those early impressions of the guys you have in your room right now?
I'm ecstatic. This is an awesome experience. Really grateful to be here at the University of Wisconsin. Obviously, very historic place of winning tradition. And then obviously it's the people that make the place special. Obviously with Coach Fickell at the helm, what he's been able to do in his tenure and career. And that's going to be able to bleed over in terms of the rest of the program, obviously into the coaches, and then obviously going into the players from there. And I'm ecstatic to work with this group. Obviously, Coach Guyton's done an unbelievable job just in terms of this room and what he's been able to do. And I'm excited to continue to improve and elevate it even more. That's my aim and my goal. And me and him working hand in hand with each other every day, I couldn't ask for a better situation to be in. So, and these guys make it easy. Their attitude, their work ethic, and their willingness for the coach, everything else is easy from that point. So really excited.
Kenny, how does he kind of help you out in terms of letting you know about the personnel, just what the responsibilities are like? Just obviously, he's got a lot on his plate as well.
Yeah, obviously he's had 365 to build the relationships in the room, and honestly, that's going to be the most important thing. There can't even be coaching or anything of that nature till the relationships. And the first word that coincides in that is real. And that's just the honest truth of it, because, the old adage just in coaching is they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so really helping me to understand these kids from an inside perspective, who they are as a person, their mental makeup. And then from my sake, just being able to say, okay, how do I change the divide from what they are and how can I get them past their God-given abilities? So really excited. He's been unbelievable just in terms of helping me transition in this process.
It wasn't that long ago that you were on the field. What do you think has made it a pretty quick rise for you in the coaching ranks higher at Power 5 level?
Well, I tell you what, you make me feel better about myself. It feels like a long time ago. You know what? As cliche as it may sound, it's belief. And it's the people that have believed in me as a player, and then even extending me now as a coach. I think the power of belief, the people that believed in me and poured into me, and, as my cup runneth over, I pour into these young men now. And that's really what it's all about for me. It's just belief. And, how I walk in every day, how I approach every day, that belief is instilled in those young men, and confidence, and it's all through our preparation and everything that we do. And so really that's it. It's just the people that have surrounded me and said, I took my lumps and I kept pushing forward. So that's it. The people around me that surrounded me and allowed me to be in this position.
What made you want to be a coach, or when did you realize you wanted to go into this? Was there somebody that guided you along the way? Or?
Yeah, you know what? Funny enough, I did not want to coach as a player. I loved my position coach in college, Dwayne Dixon, a long time University of Florida coach, been at Ohio University for about 16 years, and I loved him to death. I wouldn't trade him for the world. But I, obviously saw the hours and things of that nature that he did work. And, as a player, I'm sitting there like, man, I do not want to do that. But all the kids used to tell me, man, you're going to be a heck of a coach one day. And I'm like, man, you crazy to think I'm going to coach one day. But when I got into it in 2018, coaching at the high school level, and I just saw how much of an impact that you can make on a young man's life, I was sold from there. That did it for me right there, truth be told. So that's the whole purpose and premise of me being in this profession, is them, the kids that I deal with on a day-to-day basis. Because I deal with dreams, goals, and livelihoods on it every day, and I don't take that for granted because I understand what it's like to be in that position.
So what stood out to you about Jeff Grimes in the short time you've been here? Maybe the philosophy he wants to bring, because offensive coaches obviously have to be aligned in what they want to do.
Without a question. So I have a prior relationship with Coach Grimes. Actually met at an FCA camp for coaches circa 2021. And before I even knew the coach, I knew the person. Obviously, he's very faith-based in what he believes. And I knew just from the person that he was, we would just align based off of that alone. And I trust that man fully, but based from his family to what he believes in and to everything from that encircling and intertwining. I believe him holistically. And then obviously from the offensive philosophy standpoint, he's done it at a high level for these last 8-9 years. And even counting that just being as a position coach as well. He's done it at the highest level, and he's done it at a high rate as well. So why wouldn't that be somebody you want to intertwine yourself with as well and grow and align and be able to help elevate in every way that we can? So really excited about Coach Grimes and grateful to be here with him.
What was that process maybe like, when you were here, or when you were kind of in the process talking with Wisconsin and Coach Fickell and all that, and kind of what led to you being in this position?
Man, the gratitude of me even just being able to be here, to be quite honest with you. I'm the one that's grateful to be here, you know, from that end and that standpoint. And man, it's just really, I've seen what Coach Fickle's done from afar. I've seen what Coach Grimes has done from afar. And obviously this program is as storied as it comes in terms of college football. And I remember back in the day when I was a player watching Jared Aberdeen's. Like, I remember that vividly as a player. And he's probably one of the first guys that I think of. And obviously you think of the backs and the O-linemen. And then if any skill position is to say, why here? Like, this is a storied program that has a history of producing at the highest level at every position. Why would you not want to be a part of that? And so really, I mean, it was no decision on my end. It's really just me being grateful to be here in front of these coaches and be able to help and elevate any way that I can.
You kind of just answered a little bit, but this hasn't been a wide receiver hotbed in terms of a program. But how do you maybe change that or in the recruiting process and kind of maybe overcome some of the hurdles that have existed for Wisconsin?
Yeah. You know what? My personal belief with that is, you know, if you're good enough, they will find you from that standpoint. And I believe in Coach Grimes' system, what we're being able to build right now in terms of the installation process. And, you know, contrary to belief, this place has produced receivers as well, you know, just not to the naked eye per se, you know, from the likes of Al Toon to Nick Toon to Jared Aberdeen's to Quintez Cephas to Alex Arison. And the fun part about this process has been being able to reach out to those guys and just being open and honest conversations just about the past and being able to talk to them and just say, hey, help you any way that I can. I think that's also a testament to this place as well, just in terms of the community, the support, the backing, and the pride it takes to be an alumni as well. But you know what, just going back to an alignment standpoint, a lot of these young men nowadays, they have dreams, goals, and aspirations of playing at the next level. And so my thing would be, okay, if you want to do that, why not play and prep in an offense that is going to prepare you to do all the things that you're going to do at that level? And really, that's what we're building right here in terms of Coach Grimes' system, you know, NFL-style offense, talking about balance, talking about multiplicity, and things that we're able to do, different presentations that we give to the defense, and, you know, different things that you're going to be required to do, especially at the receiver position. And so, God willing, if you are able, all right, to get an opportunity to go to that level, it's not foreign to you. It won't be the first time you've heard it. So that's what the exciting part is going forward. You know, if guys want to say, hey, I want to go to that next level, okay, well, let's do what they're going to ask you to do there. That's preparation. Preparation creates confidence in everything that you do.
Your NCAA 25 skills were recently.
Ooh.
Is that just a ploy to stay in the good graces of the recruit and the family, or is that something you need to work on for visits in the future?
Hey, you know what? I would say if anybody feels so inclined to, I have a PS5 on my own, and I do have a gamer tag. I'm not hard to find.
What is your recruiting style in terms of relating to recruits and trying to build a rapport?
Yeah. You know what? Personally, for me, is kind of what I talked about earlier. Is the relationships, and the first word is real. I'm gonna be who I am. I love this game. I love the young men that I'm involved with on an everyday basis, and if you can't see that from the interactions that I have with these young men, I'm not doing a good enough job. And my job is to be myself at such a high rate. You want to be a part of that, just being quite frank. And, you know, kind of as he stated before, like, I'm not that far removed from these young men. And so from a relation standpoint, I feel as though I can relate to them in a very high rate as well, whether it's just from the cultural topics, the music topics, whatever the case may be from that standpoint. And honestly, just being in their shoes not too long ago as well. And so those are just things from my standpoint is having a better understanding of these young men.
You have a wide receiver room that, you know, outside of Vinny and Tretch, doesn't necessarily have a lot of production here, even if a few of them had at previous schools. What have you learned about that group, and are there some guys that you feel like can slot in based on, you know, what you've seen of them?
It's a hungry room. It's a hungry room for that reason alone. You know, just saying the proving part. Like, everybody feels they got something to prove. Everybody feels. And really, we're taking it as a room mentality. Like, we got everything to prove this year. And, you know, within that, there are guys that are maybe highlighted from that standpoint. Hey, I got everything to prove, nothing to lose, that mentality and that standpoint. And with that mentality, you know, once again, it comes the confidence creating that through preparation. And so my job is just giving them all the essential tools and things that it may take to get them in the best position possible.
From a recruiting perspective, you know, jumping in kind of mid-year, how tough and busy has it been kind of as you've just joined the last few weeks and kind of, relating to recruits, creating that relationship and things like that?
Yeah, I think, it's your perspective on it. That's really what it comes down to. Some people may sit there and say, it's a tough position to be in just getting here. And people may have been building relationships for the prior year or so. To me, the challenge is a blessing in its own, just in the fact that, all right, well, I think I can come in and show that what you're going to get from me is real. This is who I am. This is point blank period who I am. And me having to develop the relationship with the guys in the room, I think that's only going to be an added benefactor when these guys do eventually get to come on campus, because they're going to see, hey, this is me, this is my interactions, and this is how I proceed with the guys. And this is what you're going to be able to get to. So nothing demeaning from that regards or I view as a negative manner.